Are we heading for a new market in real estate? We've talked before, it's cyclical. That's what we're going to talk about this month. But first, cue the music so you know who we are. Welcome to Halifax Real Estate with Brenda K. I'm Brenda K, and this is Sweet Miss Frankie with the Halifax Home Selling Group. So I know, we talk about this all the time, that the stats can be really boring, but they really play an important role in what's going on with your financial wealth, whether you're buying or selling or not. I love bringing you this information. And the thing about this is this really keeps me in tune too. If I'm not in tune with the stats as a realtor, how am I going to advise you on what you should do on your buying or selling journey? Stay to the end, because I have a real life story that just happened to me at the end today. First of all, we're going to jump into the active listings, and I want you to see that there's definitely a pattern going on here. And like I said before, the markets, they're all cyclical, okay? They swing. They have done it. I remember we bought our first home in 1983. I've watched over the last 40 years, the markets turn, and they will turn again. So are they doing it now? We're gonna chat about that at the end too. So right now we have 1,192 active listings. So this is July 2025 over July 2024. We're 175 more listings right now, so we're 14% up. And this is really important because we need to get that inventory up. So we can look back, we can see in 2024, we were 1,017 listings. And you look back to 2022, look, we were down to 776 listings. So that's quite a bit different. Let's jump to the number of sales. Look at the numbers. So in just the month of July, we had 501 homes sold. That's only 3 more than last year, 498. So remember I talked about a pattern? You see how low the number is there? You look at between 2023 and 2024, it was 73. And when you look from 2022 to 2023, it was actually a negative of 43. So can you see the pattern emerging here? So now if we go to sales year to date, 3,041 homes year to date. That's only 47 more homes than last year. We're talking like 1.5%. Okay, last year, 2,994, we were only 16 ahead from the year before. But again, look at 2022. So the thing is, 2022 and 2023, we were coming out of the COVID market, right? That is over. Where is the pattern going? This is what we're going to see over the next 6 months of this market. We will see the pattern emerging. And I'm going to talk really quick about the interest rate at the end too, because I do have my prediction. Days on market, 29 average this year. That's 4 over last year. And again, see the difference. We're just coming out of COVID in 2022. We're 16 days on market. Month supply, again, no other listings come on. I talk about this every month. We would have enough for 3 weeks. And then you look, last year was 2.6 weeks, 2.1 weeks, and 1.6. Again, do you see the pattern emerging? 5 weeks down to 4 weeks, down to 3 weeks. Okay, now here's the big one that everybody waits for every single month. The average price, $593,565. Okay, so we are just $5,600 over last year's number of $587,905. Okay, now jump back and we're $4,000 over from 23 to 24. But look at 2022, $520,870. We get a jump up over $62,000. Okay, again, see the pattern? It's going down. There's no way we could have sustained what was going on, gaining $60,000 a year in real estate on a $520,000, up $60,000. My God, we would have half the buyers priced right out of the market. I'm going to talk about where we really want the appreciation to be, where is a really good rate for you. The percent to list, okay, it's coming back into the norm. Again, see the pattern, 2022, 103%, and then 101%, then 100%. Now we're at 99.7%. So the pricing is getting more on target, and we talked about that last month. You want to sell your house? Stay tuned, because I've got a real story coming up at the end I want to share with you. And last but not least, we've got appreciation. We're only at 1%, and we have been all over the board since January. I do these every month. But again, look back at 2022 and you can see 13.7%. So this is what I'm saying. As great as it is for your home value to go up, but people are taking what they were doing in 21 and 22 and their value was ballooning, and they were saying, oh, diggity dang. Let's pull some equity out of my house and we're gonna buy a motorcycle, we're gonna buy a travel trailer. But remember, markets and values are cyclical, okay? Here is where you really, really see the pattern emerging. 13.7, 12, and then 0.8, and then 0.1. Where do we wanna be ideally? You wanna sit around 4%. That is a really, really good number of appreciation each year. Years ago, when I first got into real estate, if you wanted to make enough money off your home, like my husband and I started trading real estate personally in 1983. And what we did is we did 6 homes in 9 years. We kind of flipped around. Miss Frankie's turned her head on us here today. Oh, she's so cute. Anyways, back to the stats. So what we would have to do is build up, we would renovate the house and we would flip it. And back in those days, like we did the 6 and 9 years, which is great. We're not even going to where there was no capital gains at that time. Can you believe it? It was heaven. Anyways, what I'm getting at is when I started in real estate, the majority of people, you had to own your house for 3 to 5 years to earn enough equity to be able to jump up into the next level. So in other words, you got in your semi at 5% and then you stayed in it for 3 to 5 years. You've got enough equity that you can put 10, maybe 20% on the next size up, maybe a detached home. And what I want to do this year too is I want to put this chart up. So normally I have the bar that shows what's selling, but we all know right now that what is selling is the $500,000 to $600,000 range. And that is really what is in demand. Like $399 to $499, gone. Priced well, it's off the shelf. So the reason I wanted to show you the graph is that you can see how the pattern is emerging. So you see the blue line here, that is 2022. You see 23, 24, 25, they're together. So that's the pattern that's emerging. So what's the story I wanted to share with you this month? I went to see somebody and they had their property for sale in 2021. And I'm just gonna throw out a number, 2.5 million. And it didn't sell. Nobody would buy it. So what that tells us is that in 2021, the market would not bear the price. The buyers did not see the value, they didn't want it. So I go and I sit with her and she said, well, that was 4 years ago. And I said, yeah, and you know what? The market may now be able to bear the $2.5 million price. So she says to me, well, I want 3.5 million. I'm like, okay. When you tried to sell it last time, the market would not bear the price. So she said, well, that was 4 years ago. Yes, it was 4 years ago. It was the most frenzied market that we had ever seen in Halifax. And like I said, I've been doing real estate professionally for 17 years, but I've been trading real estate personally starting in the early 1980s. So I've watched this. So she said, well, it was 4 years ago. Yeah, it was. It was in a frenzied market. So if it's not going to sell in a frenzied market, when interest rates were hitting 1.69%, do you really think it's going to sell now for 3.5 million? She said, yeah. When you're pricing your home, you've got location, you've got condition of home, and you come up with a price. Okay. If the buyers don't see the value, they're not going to buy it. If the market changes and all the other prices are increasing over the last 4 years, 4 years ago, you had where it should be today, you want to list at the same price to sell. So it's such a common misunderstanding. And like I said, buyers today, they're savvy. This is the digital age. They are watching. And a lot of times, here's the thing, a lot of times they really don't understand the data they're reading, but they think they do. And what happens when a buyer thinks they do? They skip right past your listing. So my point of the whole story this month is your pricing has to be on the mark, okay? If you are still of the mind, I'm gonna throw it out there, it's not going to work in this market. So I want to take a minute to say thank you so much for tuning in. And of course, my girl here sits with me every day. If you want to say hello to everybody, say hello. No, she's not going to say hello today. I really appreciate you watching the channel, and I love what I do. I love bringing the information. I'm starting a new series where you can call me and ask me questions. We'll put my phone number at the bottom of the screen. And anytime you want to pick my brain about real estate, please reach out with a phone call. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Brenda K. It would make my day if you like and subscribe to our channel. I hope you like my stories. I'll always share real life experiences with you because that helps educate you on real estate. And remember, if you're thinking of buying real estate in Halifax, it'd mean the world to me. Think Brenda K. Cheers.